The only thing I want you thinking about today is, do we close below 30,000 on a daily closing basis or not? If we do, this chart becomes vulnerable to downside for Bitcoin. If it can stay above 30,000 on a daily close, then you are potentially in a much more bullish scenario for Bitcoin. All right. As long as you stay above 30, I would say there's a slightly higher probability to a breakout versus a breakdown. Not huge, but slight. All right. If you close below 30, it's the probability switch to slightly favoring downside. If we start getting below that 29.5, then the probability shift more and more towards the downside.
Gareth Soloway, an experienced market analyst and trader, is known for his expertise in technical analysis and his ability to provide insights into various financial markets. With a focus on stocks, cryptocurrencies, and other investment assets, Soloway has gained recognition for his accurate predictions and trading strategies. In this video, Gareth Soloway explains the current state of Bitcoin and Ether and their potential breakout or failure. According to Soloway's technical analysis, the current pattern on the Bitcoin chart indicates a bullish consolidation. However, he also predicts that there is some weakness emerging in Bitcoin as it has dropped back to $30,000. Breaking below $29,500 would raise concerns about the sustainability of the bullish consolidation pattern, potentially leading to a further decline towards the upward sloping trend line around $25,900 to $26,000. The world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, which looks after around $10 trillion on behalf of clients, has triggered a flood of U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF applications that combined boast $27 trillion in assets under management. It seems like Bitcoin has a good setup for the new quarter, with major institutions signaling confidence in both the future of crypto and even in its U.S. regulators at the end of the month. Between the end of the banking crisis in May and the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF filing on June 15, regulatory pressure weighed heavily on sentiment and Bitcoin traded sideways. The SEC said in previous ETF rejection orders that the sponsor of a Bitcoin trust would have to enter a surveillance sharing agreement with a regulated market of significant size. We will now bring you clips of Gareth Soloway from his weekly game plan. Before we proceed further in this video, please make sure to subscribe our channel and click the bell icon to stay updated.
I talked about in my title, we want to look at, is Bitcoin going to be breaking out or is it going to be failing? And what we see here on the Bitcoin chart is a direct relation with this pivot high here, which if we zoom out and we drag that line back even further, it actually shows us a level that was very, very important going all the way back to 2021. All right. So if we look at the bull run in 2021, we see very clearly that you had the breakout here, the retrace to the scene of the crime at 31,000 to 30,000, the big run to 65, the pullback to that same level, and the breakup. And then obviously here we consolidated and we broke down. So what we see here, if we just look at April 14th, which was a Friday, we touched that highest point. If we go over here, we've been hammering on that level. Now, in technical analysis, one of the keys to understand here is that basically you have a bullish consolidation pattern. So this is bullish right now, but this is the key. We're starting to get some weakness showing up today in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now back to 30,000. What you want to see for a psychological basis is you want to see Bitcoin hold 30,000. If it doesn't hold on a daily closing basis, and I want to show you this, right? So if you look at this close right here, this close was at 30,000 and basically 30,010. The next day we closed back below and then we made a strong close above. Since that close above, we have always stayed on a daily closing basis above 30,000. Now, when you go sideways, this is considered what we would in technical analysis view to be a bull flag. All right. So again, right now, this is safe. But the problem is that if you have a daily close back below 30,000, it starts making the vulnerable, the stock chart, or in this case, the crypto chart, becomes much, much more vulnerable. All right. So that is something that we have to kind of monitor here in terms of whether or not we can get a breakout on Bitcoin, or if Bitcoin is going to start to lose out and start to head down. Now, the 30,000 level for Bitcoin is your first level of significance. Now, if we close below 30,000, it doesn't 100% negate the bull flag pattern or the in spirit of bull flag pattern. The reason why it doesn't negate it is because bull flags, okay, they are 45-degree angles to 90-degree angles, right? So basically, as long as you're in an angle here, okay, of about 45 to 90 degrees, you can be in the case, and I would probably move it up to about there for that. This can still be bullish consolidation. But I do have a level I want us to watch very closely, all right? So we have 30,000 as number one. Number two is your secondary support at 29.5. 29.5 is this area right here, which again would be very, very important to me. Now, if we start breaking below 29.5, then you have to start talking about, is it going to even hold that 45-degree angle? My guess is it won't. And then we ultimately are headed down to this upsloping trend line right here at around 25.9 to 26,000. So if we look at the intraday chart on Bitcoin, Bitcoin again starting to cascade a little bit lower on an intraday basis. We were just talking about that 30,000 level or give or take. Look at what we have right here. Look at all that level that I was talking about right at this level. So this is right below 30,000. Look at all that technical support.
During the interview, Gareth Soloway shifted the focus to Ether, mentions their successful short trade on Ether, taking profits around 10% and re-entering a short position around $1,900 due to resistance levels. According to Intop the Block, Ether has not been able to maintain steady growth in transaction volume despite renewed interest among institutional investors. Over 20% of Ether's circulating supply is currently staked in smart contracts. Most investors are more interested in generating passive income from their Ether than utilizing it in daily transactions. Soloway mentions that pre-market trading shows Nvidia dropping to $396. In a recent development that has sent shockwaves through the tech industry, the U.S. government is reportedly considering imposing new restrictions on the export of advanced chips used in AI computing to China. This news has caused shares of leading chip makers, including Nvidia and Advanced Micro Devices, to plummet by over 2% in early trading. If the new export restrictions are implemented, Nvidia stands to face substantial hurdles in its operations and revenue generation in China.
Let's look at Ethereum here, guys. Ethereum is starting to break a little bit lower now, trading at $1,848. And again, folks, we just, by the way, and this is the beauty of it, right? So check this out. So going to Verified Investing Crypto, we covered our short on Ethereum right down here because of this technical level. Look at the cross section of these two technical levels, right? We then reshorted it right up here around 1900 because of resistance. So we find ourselves for the second trade in a row here in the money. We already took the profits here, about 10%. Now we're in the money again as we're coming down. On Ethereum, the same thing applies. You have a bullish consolidation pattern, but if you get down to this trend line here, which is around 1800 and get below that, you're likely headed down to about 1680. 1680 would be your next technical level of support. All right, now I want to turn our attention to the stock market, namely NVIDIA. NVIDIA had a great bounce back day yesterday. It was up not as much as it was down the previous day, but I want to show you the intraday of what's going on here on NVIDIA if we look at the extended hours. NVIDIA is collapsing here. And by the way, pre-market, it got down to 396. It's come back to about 405. But this is far away from the 418.75 close we saw yesterday. All right, now what's going on here? Basically, what we're seeing here, and the same thing can be said for AMD. AMD is down as well because AMD and NVIDIA are AI chip makers. The Biden administration has come out and said, hey, we don't feel comfortable with a lot of these chips being sent across the sea to China. And there's a lot of opportunity here for the Biden administration to potentially limit the amount of AI chips that AMD, NVIDIA, and a lot of these other semiconductors are going to be selling. Remember, China would be a direct major buyer of these chips. And so now you're getting into a scenario where we know how big AI can be, right? AI is going to be revolutionary going forward.
As we navigate the evolving landscape of cryptocurrencies, investors should closely monitor the technical developments, institutional sentiments, regulatory actions that can shape the future of Bitcoin, Ether, and related industries. Bitcoin price prediction will depend on the positive indicators on its charts, such as the lack of resistance that could push it toward $35,000, as well as the general atmosphere on the wider crypto market. How do you perceive the potential impact of regulatory actions on the long-term growth of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you find this video informative, don't forget to show your support towards our channel by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest videos covering more interesting topics. Thank you for watching.